If I kind of try to put it in a framework perspective, one of the things that we are seeing is that potentially the cost of setting something up has significantly decreased.
Yes.
It has two effects associated with it. One, which might be more immediate to think of, if something is cheaper to attempt, we might see more people trying it.
Sure.
And so there's a sheer, the number of e-commerce shops that is set up on Shopify or Alibaba or whatever might be, Tmall might be significantly higher than maybe what we've seen in the past when you needed 5 million in order to build an e-commerce presence. The other thing, which is actually quite interesting, and in a way you've alluded to, is, and that relates to our findings, if you do not need 5 million fundraise to start your business, then you don't maybe need to go to external investors and forgo equity, which means that those investors don't need to invest in highly risky businesses where oftentimes people talk about only 1 out of 10 succeed, which means that they don't need your startup to turn this 5 million into 50 or 500 million, because they won't have as much exposure to the failure rate. All this means that in addition to having more entry, the trajectory that many of these startups might look for is not the traditional venture-backed go big or go bust.
Or go home. Right.
It might actually be, yes, you can still go big. Nobody will fault you for that. But you can also have a scale, not at a 10x scale, but at a 2x scale, at a 3x scale. Build and operate. And all of the sudden, what we've seen is that with the decrease in the cost of starting a business, A, more entry, B, different growth trajectories. It's not the go big or go bust. It is build, operate, retain more equity because you don't need to fundraise as much upfront, and operate as your own venture. And this is something that we are seeing is a new trajectory, if you wish, in the world of startups.
But that's interesting. What you're saying is that there are unintended consequences in the asset class that is venture capital, the ones providing this capital. So you'll have your traditional funds that are, let's say, a third will go big or go home. A third will be okay, 1 or 2x, and everybody will go bust. But then you might see another layer of venture funds where they're just hitting singles, and that's okay.
And so that's definitely the perspective from the business perspective. Now, if you look at the capital stack that is necessary to support that, the question is, do you need to enable that through an equity-based approach, or can you actually do something, again, that we've seen quite a bit, debt instruments that are calibrated to that? And so if you look at, an example that I happen to be familiar with, Shopify. Shopify is actually a substantial creditor to businesses. On the Shopify, through Shopify Capital, they have disbursed billions of dollars as in loans, not equity-based, but loans to merchants. And the logic is those merchants that want to build and operate have capital needs. They need to scale up inventory. They need to invest in new equipment or whatever. The risk, the amount of money they need to raise is more minute than what we've seen in the past. The risk profile might be different because they already have a track record of operation, which Shopify, being the host, might even be able to ascertain independently. And so all of the sudden, you see, exactly to your point, that the whole financing implication is very different, and it allows both for different amounts of money, both of different companies' outcomes, and as a result of that, also shifting from not only equity-based, but also more debt-based solutions. Right. And just to complicate things a little bit more, to actually clarify things a little bit more, we're talking here about debt loans targeted at younger companies. So not the kind of venture debt that we might see in the B, C, D rounds to plug in somebody who's already well into the way to unicorn, but much smaller businesses that can benefit from this loan approach.